7:30 on MBC. I'm David Smith, and joining me in the studio this evening, Ronge Indian Band Chief Tammy Cook-Searson with an update on the situation.
Good evening, David.
Good evening. How are things at the moment in town?
At the moment in town, well, the fire did make a good run towards the lake from the airport today. So it made a good run to the lake. So so it did, and then also it progressed into, we had a cat line between Mile 5 Hill and Big Stone Lake. So there was a cat line put in there, and it was there, and then it jumped over just a bit over the cat line today.
Oh, okay.
But they are able to hold it. So they had a lot of crews, a lot of people working the line, and they've been working 24/7.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that are working the fire, and the winds were coming in from the south today, but it was burning hot today, so it's continuing to burn, and we're continuing to have crews out there, and there's a lot more resources that are coming up, because we have the army that's coming up, and then we also have extra air. I think there's a specialized helicopter that's also
apparently a very large helicopter, biggest one in North America for firefighting.
Yeah, so Wildfire Management made a request for that, so I guess it barely makes it up to northern Saskatchewan is my understanding, but they did put a request in for it because we are in an extreme situation. So we're grateful for all the help that we're getting, and also Wildfire Management is hiring firefighters.
Okay.
I know that they're taking names at the fire cache here, and then they're hiring a lot more people as they go through. So they're having to be flexible with the policies that they've had. So that's really good news. So we're going to see a lot more of our people on the fire lines, because a lot of people don't have the certifications, but they do have the experience and they know the land. So and then the Sucker River, the fire did come right to the road to the community.
Oh, okay.
And the volunteer firefighters in Sucker River and Stanley Mission, they've managed to hold the fire from going into the community.
Oh, okay.
And also working with wildfire management, so they worked all through the night. They called in this morning. The fire did reach, when you turn into Sucker River, it was there, and there was a cat line. But they've been able to, so far the community is still, they're still holding out. And still working
I can imagine.
So they're continuing to work on there, and they're going to keep working the line. They had wanted to put more helicopters in there, but because of the smoke, it limits the helicopters going in and out of the area.
I noticed just, stepping outside the studios here, the wind was always changing, and earlier today it was blowing pretty strong that way, so blowing it out of Ronge and apparently, sort of out of the airport, but not so good for Sucker River.
Yeah, but they managed to hold it, so they did an excellent job. So I went to Wildfire Management. I just came from the office there just to get an update on the fires. And then they didn't have a report yet for Grandmother's Bay for the Bryan fire. Okay. So I don't have a full report on that, but probably later on this evening we'll be able to know. I know that Grandmother's Bay volunteer firefighters were out there, and also Wildfire Management did send, I don't know how many crews, and then there was 3 helicopters assigned to the fire, but I don't know if they were able to go in there to bucket because of the smoke. And then in Sucker or Hall Lake, we did evacuate because there was a fire called a gravel fire. So there was 5 or 6 fires that were started. They were human caused.
Oh, okay, yeah. And heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so we did a general evacuation because the people did call, and there was flames coming into the community. It was really scary, and it was at the same time that we did a general evacuation for Ronge. So they were moving Hall Lake. But I did go there, and they're able to contain that fire. Wildfire Management is able to contain it. However, there's another fire by Emmeline Lake that's causing them concern. Okay. So probably once they have resources freed up from the Ronge, from the Egg fire, and also from the Eli fire, and then move more resources into the Bryan fire. Okay. And then also so they'll move into the fire that's at the Emmeline Lake area, so that they are concerned about it, and they have hired a local contractor to have water on site. And then there's also another fire that they're watching that's at the junction of the Stanley Mission Junction. Okay. So just a couple of kilometers from there, it's towards Lynx Lake, and that one's called the Lynx Fire. So that one there, their wildfire management, according to wildfire management, that fire may spread towards the road and may cross the road.
Okay.
So that's another one that they're watching. So they are continuing to monitor other fires as they burn, and we do keep in constant contact with them, and if anything changes, then they're able to let us know right away.
Okay.
But we're really grateful for all the help that we're getting. So far, I think we have about 5% of the population in our 3 communities.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet, you know.
It's quiet, yeah, and I want to say thank you to all the people that are looking after our people that have been evacuated. I know it's really tough for the people that have to leave their homes, but they also understand that it's for their own safety.
No.
Because the fire is a threat to the communities. So, and today we also we've evacuated more people from Stanley Mission because of the smoke and because they were closed in by the road closers.
Okay.
So there's more people coming out from Stanley Mission today. Also, South End is also evacuating because of the smoke.
Okay. What's the situation at the JRMCC?
So at the JRMCC, we're like a receiving center. So what we do is we register people. So we have forms there with Red Cross, and then we have, right now we have a limited amount of volunteers.
No.
But when we got a call from South End and Stanley, we had enough people to go in there, so they cooked. So they have meals, coffee, tea, juice. And then we order the buses working with emergency management fire safety, and then they coordinate the transportation, and from there either they go to Prince Albert, but the receiving center right now, because there's over 13,000 evacuees from across the province, they're going into Cold Lake. And then whenever there's issues that are raised, whether it's with Red Cross or anything like that, then we're able to work with Red Cross to resolve any issues, and they've been really good. We've had different situations that have come up, and we've been able to work through them together.
Okay. I notice Mayor Thomas Rosicki mentioned there's going to be an update at 8 o'clock tonight. Is that with the 3 communities again, the leaders?
Yeah, that's the 3 communities. So we get together at 8 o'clock. So right now we have a band represented by Councillor Sam Roberts and also Taven Roberts and Crawford Bell, who is our EMO. Okay. So we take turns going to the meetings, and then we get updates from wildfire management, all the service providers that are helping in the community. And also the other thing we've been doing is knocking on doors, because we have a mandatory evacuation order. Okay. So we've been knocking on doors. So if there's anybody out there that hasn't come to the JR Hall, we do have transportation, so there's going to be buses coming. And then we have the RCMP, the Rangers, EMTs, and band security services that are going around the community. And then they've also been going around feeding the pets, so the dogs, the cats, if anybody makes a request for us to go into their homes to feed their pets. And then there's
we have a little puppy running around here today.
Okay, well they have lots. I know they've had lots of dog food there that was donated by Northern Animal Rescue. Yeah. So they're going around feeding the animals, the ones that have made a request. So we're really grateful for all the help, and I just wanted to come down and see you, and then also give you supper.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You
and mentioning the peanut butter sandwiches are getting a little old.
Yeah.
Also, maybe you can mention the hospital emergency treatment was moved to the ambulance base on the reserve.
So when we had the mandatory evacuation order from the
3 communities.
Yeah, from the town of Ronge.
Yeah, the town of Ronge.
Yeah, up to the north of the bridge.
Yeah.
The hospital evacuated all the patients, and then the health district, along with the ambulance, Eric Bell, the ambulance owner, they set up a temporary emergency treatment center at the ambulance base on the reserve there, where Eric Bell has his ambulance. So they have 4 doctors there, 2 nurses, and also the pharmacist. And then the other thing, and then they also have 14 paramedics and I think 4 ambulance on site and 2 mobile units. Okay. And then the other thing, we met with Eric this morning, and Eric Bell and also his son, and they offered to put one one of their units on the other side of the Sucker River.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Where the roadblock is. So if anything happens, then they'll be accessible to go into any of the communities that are past that point.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping an eye on any postings. I have to say, it's I remember many years ago living in northern Alberta where we had a similar situation, but this was before the internet and Facebook, and it was just very difficult to get information.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate your posts, the mayor, other leaders. That's one good way to keep up, I think. It's right from you, and we really appreciate getting updates.
Yeah.
Very timely.
Good.
And I think we can, it looks like the wind has gone down, though.
Yeah,
Seems to settle down for the evening.
Yeah, but for now, they just said that tomorrow is going to be a difficult day. It's going to be it's going to be a tough day because they're expecting the winds to be. So we're probably going to see. They just said that it's going to be a tough day tomorrow. So and we're hoping that just continue to pray for the firefighters that they stay safe too. Yeah. And continue to pray for the evacuees that are away from their homes, all our elders, the children, the families. Everybody that's out there, we're thinking about them and keeping them in our prayers because we know it's not easy to leave your home, and we just want to say thank you to all of them too. They've been so good. Even when we were evacuating, everybody was so patient and so accommodating and just really nice, and the kids were just, I know some of the kids were saying, where are we going? You know, not really knowing where they're going or why they have to abruptly leave their home. So we think about them, and it's really nice to have, we even have staff. So the band, we send staff with our evacuees, so at least they have.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so we have staff in each of the centers. So we've had, I think we have one staff right now at Coal Lake, and there's more on the way.
Oh, okay.
So, and then all the, in Prince Albert, Saskatoon, Regina, we have staff that are there so that we can coordinate things, so we're able to work things out, and then also Prince Albert Grand Council set up the information center in Prince Albert.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So that's been really helpful for the people that have been evacuated.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get to see that great big helicopter from Montana. Apparently it was supposed to be landing in Prince Albert around 6. I don't know if it has already. They didn't really know the time was changing, but it's on the way up here, isn't it?
Good, yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, well, thank you very much. Ronge Indian Band Chief Tammy Cook-Searson. Anything else?
No, thank you very much. Thank you, Dave, and I hope you enjoy your supper. The volunteers at the JRMCC cooked it up there, so they were cooking all day, and they're also prepared to receive all the people that are coming in. I know that there's a big convoy that's been escorted from Sucker River to Ronge. So thank you to all the people that are helping us in every way.
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by. And again, as we mentioned, another meeting coming up at 8 p.m. this evening.
Yeah, it's on right now. It's at 7. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And we'll have updates on that as soon as it becomes available.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, thank you so much, David.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.